The Netherlands, a country that appears fragile geographically, has written an epic story about human struggle against the fierce forces of nature. The Netherlands, a small country in Western Europe with an area of approximately 41,543 square kilometers, is famous for its land that is mostly below sea level, making it one of the most vulnerable countries to flooding. About 26% of the Netherlands' territory is below sea level, while 55% of the country's land is highly vulnerable to flooding, both from the sea and from rivers. Meanwhile, about 60% of its population, or around 10 million people, live in areas that are below sea level, including several major cities such as The Hague, Rotterdam, and Amsterdam. The phenomenon of the Netherlands' low-lying land is caused by several natural and human-made factors. Large rivers that flow through the country have brought sediment and mud to the low-lying areas for thousands of years. The sedimentation process has created fertile soil, but it has also lowered the land elevation. In addition, the soil in the Netherlands continues to experience gradual subsidence due to human activities such as groundwater extraction and peatland drainage in the past. The Netherlands extensively exploited peatlands for fuel, and the drainage of peatlands caused the soil to shrink and compact, making it even lower than sea level. This peat exploitation significantly accelerated the subsidence in some areas of the Netherlands. Due to its low-lying land, the Netherlands has always struggled with flooding throughout its history. The country has faced continuous threats of flooding, especially from the North Sea. In 1421, the Netherlands experienced the St. Elizabeth's flood, one of the worst floods in its history. The flood occurred on November 19, 1421, and is estimated to have claimed around 2,000 lives and turned large areas of agricultural land into unusable marshes. On November 1, 1570, the Netherlands also experienced the All Saints' Day flood, considered one of the largest natural disasters in Europe in the 16th century. At that time, a massive storm surge in the North Sea flooded the entire coastal area, resulting in the loss of around 20,000 lives and the disappearance of several villages and towns. Then, the flood that occurred from January 31 to February 1953 was the most tragic in modern Dutch history. A massive storm hit the country with destructive force, breaching dikes, destroying homes and fields, and claiming lives. The storm surge exceeded the height of the dikes in several areas, causing devastating breaches in over 50 locations. As a result, more than 1,800 people died, over 47,300 buildings were damaged, and around 100,000 hectares of land were inundated with saltwater. Despite this, the Netherlands did not give up in the face of adversity. The 1953 disaster prompted them to undertake major reforms in water management. In fact, the Dutch struggle against water had begun in the distant past, when their ancestors built earth mounds that served as the first line of defense against the fierce North Sea floods. In the 11th century, local communities began building earth mounds as a place of refuge during floods. These early dikes were local and limited, but they marked the beginning of the Dutch efforts in water management. However, nature did not remain static, and in the 12th century, devastating storm surges brought unimaginable disasters, which led the Dutch to realize that they needed to develop more intelligent and innovative ways to combat water, or risk being overwhelmed by it. As the population grew and agricultural needs increased, the Dutch began constructing canal systems that connected various regions and allowed water to be drained from low-lying areas. These canals were initially used to dry out peatlands and create fertile agricultural land. One notable example from this period is the Beemster polder. In the 15th century, windmill technology was introduced as a solution to pump water out of polders below sea level. These windmills were used to channel water into higher canals, from where it could be discharged into rivers or the sea. The famous windmills of Kinderdijk are part of this innovative system. Between the 16th and 17th centuries, land reclamation became more extensive and systematic under the supervision of skilled engineers. The Dutch reclaimed land from the sea and lakes, creating large polders protected by dike systems and windmills. One of the largest projects was the Holland polder, which transformed a lake into fertile agricultural land. In the 19th century, water drainage technology continued to evolve with the addition of better drainage systems, including steam-powered pumps. These pumps allowed for faster and more efficient polder drainage, replacing windmills as the primary technology. As mentioned earlier, in 1953, the Netherlands experienced one of its most devastating floods in history when a massive storm hit the North Sea. The flood caused over 1,800 deaths, destroyed more than 47,300 buildings, and inundated 100,000 hectares of land with saltwater. This disaster marked a turning point in the Dutch fight against flooding. Following the flood, the Netherlands designed and built the Delta Works project, a series of dams, sluices, and dikes designed to protect the country from North Sea storms. One of the key components of the Delta Works is the massive storm surge barrier with movable gates that can be closed during high tide. The project was completed in 1997 and is considered one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. The Delta Works is a highly complex project that cost over €5 billion. It consists of more than 16,500 kilometers of dikes, sluices, and dams spread along the Dutch coast, effectively turning the threat of water into something manageable. With this project, the Netherlands seemed to be telling the sea, "We will survive, no matter what." In addition to the Delta Works, the Netherlands continues to innovate in water management with the Room for the River project. This project aims to give more space to major rivers to overflow naturally during flood seasons, reducing the risk of flooding in downstream areas. Room for the River is one of the most significant innovative projects in recent decades. The Netherlands realized that building higher dikes alone would not solve the problem. Therefore, they decided to make peace with water by giving large rivers more space to overflow naturally, rather than forcing the water to conform. The Netherlands allows rivers to flow into specially designed areas to accommodate excess water. This not only reduces pressure on the dikes but also enables the natural recovery of river ecosystems. In this project, the Netherlands is not just building higher dikes but also creating artificial floodplains that allow rivers to overflow without causing damage. By restoring some of the low-lying areas to their natural state, flood risks can be better controlled without damaging ecosystems. In the face of climate change and rising sea levels, the Netherlands continues to innovate with highly sophisticated approaches. One of their modern innovations is floating homes, developed in vulnerable areas such as Amsterdam and Rotterdam. These homes are built on water and designed to adapt to rising water levels. The Netherlands has also developed smart flood protection systems that use digital technology to monitor and control water levels automatically based on weather data and water conditions. This technology enables a faster response to flood threats and extreme weather changes. Despite facing geographical challenges due to most of its territory being below sea level and vulnerable to flooding, the Netherlands has successfully developed a highly productive agricultural system and become one of the world's largest exporters of agricultural products. The Dutch agricultural system is supported by various innovations and technologies that enable agricultural land to remain fertile despite facing difficult geographical conditions and challenges. To address these challenges, the Netherlands has implemented a range of agricultural innovations, from advanced water management to modern agricultural technology. To drain water from agricultural land and direct it to rivers and the sea, they have built a polder system, which is land reclaimed from the sea or lakes and protected by dikes built along the coast and rivers to protect the polder from tidal and flood waters. This land remains dry with the help of a highly advanced drainage system. This system allows the land to remain usable even though it is located below sea level or in areas prone to flooding. The Netherlands has approximately 17,500 kilometers of dikes, including primary and secondary dikes. In addition, the Netherlands has built pumps and windmills. Initially, windmills were used to pump water out of polders into higher canals, but modern electric pumps have now replaced windmills. Water from the polder is continuously pumped out to ensure the land remains dry and fertile. In the 16th and 17th centuries, windmills in the Netherlands reached their peak development and were used for various purposes. At that time, there were approximately 10,000 windmills scattered throughout the country. Today, the Netherlands has around 1,200 traditional windmills still in operation, many of which are preserved as cultural heritage. The Netherlands also applies precision farming, a system that uses digital technology and data to monitor and manage agricultural land more efficiently. This system includes satellite sensors and advanced software to monitor soil moisture, weather conditions, and plant nutrient needs. With this system, farmers can use real-time data to determine when and where land needs irrigation, which is crucial in the Netherlands given the importance of water management. By accurately monitoring soil conditions, farmers can reduce excessive fertilizer use that can pollute water and soil. In addition to the polder system and precision farming, the Netherlands is also a world leader in greenhouse technology, which plays a significant role in agricultural production. There are over 25,000 hectares of land used for greenhouse agriculture in the Netherlands. This technology allows the Netherlands to grow various types of crops year-round, including vegetables, fruits, and flowers. Modern greenhouses in the Netherlands are equipped with closed irrigation systems that conserve water. The greenhouses use efficient drip irrigation systems where water can be recycled. They also use climate control systems with automation to optimize temperature, humidity, and light, creating ideal growing conditions for crops. The Netherlands has also developed aquaponics and hydroponics systems, which are soilless farming methods that are highly water efficient and suitable for wet land conditions. Hydroponics involves growing plants in nutrient-rich water solutions, while aquaponics combines fish farming with plant cultivation, where fish waste is used to fertilize plants. These methods not only save water but also enable the Netherlands to increase agricultural productivity on limited land with fewer water resources. Furthermore, the Netherlands is highly focused on agricultural waste management and nutrient cycling. Waste from livestock and agriculture is recycled into organic fertilizer and biogas, reducing dependence on fossil fuels and enriching the soil with sustainable nutrients. As a small country in Western Europe with geographical conditions highly vulnerable to flooding, the intelligent agricultural system built by the Netherlands has given the country several advantages. The Netherlands has become the second largest exporter of agricultural products in the world after the United States, with agricultural exports reaching €94.5 billion in 2019. The use of precision farming technology has allowed for 50% more water efficiency compared to traditional methods. Meanwhile, hydroponic and aquaponic farming in the country has enabled a 90% reduction in water usage compared to conventional agriculture. Despite its innovations and successes, the Dutch battle against water is not yet fully won. Rising sea levels and unpredictable rainfall due to climate change will continue to pose challenges. However, the spirit of the Dutch people remains unbroken. In this country, humans not only survive nature but also conquer it with intelligence, determination, and innovation. They have shown the world that although we cannot control the forces of nature, we can adapt and live in harmony with them, even in the most extreme conditions.